feel pretty special. You are special. Yeah.
So I'm a man. We're live, by the way. Garrett's not here. Craziest thing about Garrett is he's not here. He shows up early, very early. You might even be one of the first people in the office.
I was.
And you are late to everything. That's what's crazy about you.
This is my first time being late to this show.
So I'm a man who look at him getting set up. Look at that. Oh my God.
Why are we looking at me? Look at your hat.
What is this? Zoom in on his hair.
Oh gosh.
Show everyone your hair.
It's pretty.
You got the pink hair.
It's
great.
pink. It's a little pink.
That's great.
Okay.
Hey, so real quick before we start, you know that I'm a man who needs his sleep, right?
Oh yeah.
And last night I was like, I'm gonna get a good 8 to 9 hours in, and then Kelly introduced me to the Jinx documentary, which I'd never seen before on HBO. It's about like this serial. Yeah, you guys should check it out. Actually, you shouldn't check it out because it'll keep you up all night. And I watched 5 episodes of that and didn't go to bed until 2 a.m.
Oh, that would explain the hat.
Yeah, and I dressed myself today. I dressed myself today.
Yeah, you did.
Nobody helped me. That should be very clear
You had your freedom.
to everyone. Hey, in addition to me being introduced to the Jinx, by the way, there's going to be a season 2 of the Jinx.
What is the Jinx about?
It's about a guy. It's about a killer,
Oh, okay.
Robert Durst.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like a big deal like 5 years ago. I watched it for the first time last night. So yeah, everybody check out the second season. Is that what our show's brought to you by? All right. So in Payson, Utah, where Kevin Bacon might be showing up, several students and adults participated in an hours-long walkout from Utah's Mount Nebo Middle School. On yesterday. The reason for the protest, furries. You ever heard of furries?
I have. Have you ever heard of furries?
I have, unfortunately.
By the way, this is Nick Anderson,
Hey, Nick.
president and founder of MemberSports.
It started out weird.
You know
Nick.
what? I just go with it. That's it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't like how quickly you said yes to if you knew what furries were.
Well, he does have pink hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us your experience with furries, Garrett?
I don't have any direct experience, but there's a funny movie. Like I think it's called Mascots, and it's by the same people that put on like Best in Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So there's all sorts of funny jokes and innuendos on that. And then there's an episode of what's that show on HBO? Entourage, where there's furries involved.
There's furries?
Yeah.
All right. So
that's my
let's
knowledge.
define what a furry is, because I'm not sure that I fully know. So give us. You obviously are an expert.
No,
Give
what
us.
these students. I think they like to dress up as animals.
Oh,
And-
here it is. Look, in this story, and Weston's got it
It's
up
a
on the
fandom.
screen. What is a
Yeah.
furry? Furry is a fandom. A furry named Strudel. Wait, what? Is that a person or? So a furry is a fandom. A furry named Strudel told ABC4.com is the weirdest sentence I've ever read. We don't think that we're animals.
They like to dress up as animals, though.
I
That
thought
is-
they identify as animals. They
Some
don't?
do.
Okay.
I don't. That's the weirdest sentence I've ever read. Furry is a fandom. A furry named Strudel. A furry named Strudel?
Old Strudel.
What is going on?
You're the one reading it.
According
Is
to
that from a movie?
WebMD, a furry is
Jason
someone who has
Isbell.
an interest in animals with human qualities and who sometimes dresses up as a cartoon-like version of an animal. So it's like a costume?
Yeah. So if you went to, a Halloween dance in the 4th grade dressed up as Mufasa or Simba, you could continue that.
What are you?
If you liked Bluey and you like dressing up, that's what you It's like you're wearing a Halloween costume
okay.
every day.
I took my son Henry to a Bluey concert, and he dressed up as Bluey to it. So he was a furry?
He was
He's
a
a furry.
temporary furry.
He was a temporary furry?
Yeah.
They're protesting Henry?
I think if you take the costume off and you don't resonate with it day
What
after
is
day.
so? It says a furry is someone who has an interest in animals with human qualities. What animals would that be?
Well, a lot of bears and lions and like the cute ones.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh
Yeah,
my.
yeah. Probably not like platypuses and
So Strudel, who's a furry,
Yeah.
has another quote that says, "I really like the idea of animals that walk and talk, so I'm going to dress up as one, as kind of a fun sort of cosplay thing." Okay, so it's cosplay.
you'll see them at like Comic-Con type of things.
Okay, this makes sense to me now. Well, it doesn't make sense to me. And so people walked out because at Payson High School, according to these people who walked out and some of their parents, these furries were like trying to bite some of the students.
I don't know. I did not read it.
They're taking it to the next level.
They're really going for it. Yeah, that would be disruptive if you're trying to learn chemistry or physics or get that ACT score up. Your buddy from 8th grade's trying to bite you.
Okay, several children were holding signs reading "Compelled speech is not free speech." Another was holding a sign that said, "I will not comply." Are they being asked to dress up as furry? And another sign said, "We just wanted to learn." I like that sign. The students said there are attacks from the furries every day,
Attacks.
but we're unsure of how many furries there actually are at the school.
Sounds like there's a lot.
Shouting out numbers ranging from 5 to 100 students who identify as such.
This is high school?
This
This
is
is-
middle school.
Middle school?
All right. Here's the crazy part. The school's furry population is accused of biting, scratching, spraying air freshener on, barking at, and chasing other students. What is this story? This is crazy.
It is. Then it's from your neck of the woods. All of these crazy stories are south of Provo.
Yeah, Payson is right next to Spanish Fork, so I kind of do have to claim it, although we always hated Payson when we played them. School officials say a lot of the information that's been put out there is completely incorrect and inaccurate. The administration at the school addressed that with the entire student body, and they sent out a couple of emails. Some of the emails were misinterpreted, and parents took to online formats to voice some of their concerns and questions. So the school is saying maybe there aren't as many furries. I have no idea. This is a weird story. So there's a bunch of furries in Payson, and they're biting people.
Things are not going well.
Don't go to Payson.
No.
If
No.
you want to get bitten, go to Payson.
Yeah.
And by the way, who's coming to Payson soon for the Payson High School graduation? Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll dress up as a furry.
That's one way to get in and out without people knowing who you are.
Payson is now Furry Town, USA,
It is.
which is crazy.
There you go.
All right, let's talk to our guest. I'm so sorry. That was such a crazy story. I don't know how we don't talk about it for the next 5 hours.
I mean, I'd like to try to see what it's like to be a furry for a day.
There-
Maybe we
oh,
don't
no.
understand.
I bet it's
Look
awesome.
at that empathy.
It actually sounds. If it's like cosplay, I kind of understand that aspect of it, like the costume and stuff. I don't understand them biting, like actually acting like animals.
I thought it was more for like little kids that just they just never got over a favorite character and they just were wearing their costume day in and day out. But man, middle school even that's
they've
a lot
taken it.
older than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all wish animals could talk, but we all don't revert to being animals and like biting our friends. So
At least some of us.
I hate that we learned you have extensive furry experience. That's probably the least favorite thing I learned today.
me too. Me too. All right. Nick Anderson, president of MemberSports, also really helpful in helping launch the Slopes Cup, the Silken Slopes Golf Tournament many, many years ago. How are you?
Doing great. How are you guys?
We are good. Tell us a little bit about MemberSports. It's something I enjoy because it has to do with sports and golf in particular, right?
Yeah. We MemberSports is a online platform all in one that helps with reservations, tournament, point of sale, communication. We have a food and beverage component, and what we found was in the world of sports, there was an app and something for every sport, and especially golf. Everybody was using multiple systems, and we were annoyed by that. Me and Phil, my partner, and we just got together, and as we were golfing, we just started brainstorming some ideas, putting out a little wish list of what we'd like to see happening in golf, especially. And then we just were like, you know what, this could translate to anything. And so we started with golf, and that's where we're really focused on right now. But it's just bringing an all-in-one system to the golf courses so that they can run their operations and consolidate and have a lot better experience. And it also gives the players a better experience because it has that connection where sometimes if players have issues, they don't know where to go because they might be on a different platform. And if they call the golf course might have to call a third party or do different things. And it's not always managed and operated within the same confines of the company and who they use. So there was a big deal there.
I like the e-scorecards too. That's cool.
Yeah.
And obviously if golf clubs wanted to, organize tournaments and things like that, they can do that on your platform, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Which is probably an incredible piece of software for that. That would be really hard without something like that.
Yeah, there's only a few people that do it right now, and that's one of the reasons we got into it. There's not a lot of competition. There's a lot of people trying to do it, but they don't put in enough time and effort and money to really get it to where it needs to be, because it's pretty complex, as you know, playing in a tournament and just any type of event. There's a lot going on in the background, and we have really started to upgrade our software, especially this year for the tournaments specifically, that we're going to have a lot of fun stuff for the players, for the courses, and for charitable events and people and companies that put on their own tournaments. So that's where we're really focusing on this year, and private clubs are part of that because they do a lot of their own tournaments and they just don't have a great experience with what they currently use.
Interesting. How long have you been doing this?
So we started in 2020, and for 2.5 years, we just built a platform, and then we launched at the end of 2022 with a couple beta courses, and then we fully launched in 2023. So we have 1 full year under our belts doing it full time.
Was 2020 the greatest year for golfers ever?
It was pretty good. It was. It depends on who you talk to. It was great for people getting into golf because that's when the boom really hit, and it's become popular, and it's really interesting that before 2020, from 2020 to now, there has been more golf courses built and opened than the previous, I think, 10 to 15 years combined. Like it's crazy how popular it's gotten. And the great thing about golf in 2020 was that a lot of people came on and they understood why it was such a great sport. But for guys like Garrett and I that like to play all the time, we never had to make a tee time really, and you could always find a time. Now you got to plan for it. It's a lot harder.
Yeah. Really? Speaking of golf courses, they're building one, and speaking of Southern Utah County, they're building one in Salem.
Yeah, what's
a private golf course?
Heard that.
A country club. I think the name of the development is called Three Bridges. I don't know if that's the name of the golf course.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is that going to happen? I've heard like the developments there, but I've also heard like they don't know when it's coming. Like there's no timeline, and there might be some hiccups. But it looked awesome.
Yeah. They have a website.
Yeah.
For what that's worth.
Yeah.
That's all I've seen. I actually called and was like, hey, how do I buy a house here? If there's just out of curiosity, and they're like, you can't yet. So I don't know.
Well, that's where I've heard some people that have been very interested in it because it's in a great location. It's
the most beautiful place in the world. Yeah, it's basically right next to Spanish Fork, right up there, Spanish Fork Canyon. It's kind of by Spanish Oaks, which is a public golf course.
Yeah,
but
they don't allow furries there. So
I hope it's an inclusive community that allows furries. Actually,
there's a dress code on the golf course. They might do it within the community, but I don't know if that'll translate.
Yeah, probably not on the
course.
golf course. Yeah, you gotta at least have a polo.
It looks great. It looks like a great development. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, now we've like thrown the gauntlet. If they don't let furries in, they're going to protest. So, sorry.
Yeah, I'm really interested in Three Bridges. I might live there if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, the golf in general has gotten an injection of popularity the last couple of years. And I heard a statistic a while back that, all the golf courses in America, Hawaii included, Alaska, takes up about as much real estate as Rhode Island. So it's a massive industry, always has been. And people would be shocked about, how many courses are out there, both public, private, semi-private. But municipalities, right? They control 10 golf courses, right? Like Provo and Salt Lake. And I imagine for them, they would want one platform to solve them all, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How do you sell into them? How do you develop those relationships to kind of ink those like 10-for-1 contracts?
Yeah, good question. We just, a lot of it's just building relationships and having good contacts within the industry and following those leads and getting introductions, because our software sells itself. We have found a really good niche into the municipalities, and a lot of that had to do with one of our big major contracts we had was the city of Denver, and they have 8 courses, and you would be shocked. The more I'm in this industry, I'm shocked at how many good golf courses there are out there that are public and even private that you never hear about.
Yeah.
And then you go there and you're like, wow, this is great. Denver has some of the greatest golf I've ever seen. And
really?
it's incredible. Like
Interesting.
their courses are country club manicured. They're really good. Greens, some of the best greens I've ever played on have been in Denver City municipality courses, and they look great. And so when you get into those, they have these 8 courses, and there's one thing that we did was we allowed not only the operators, the golf courses, but the players too, when they're booking a tee time, they can see every tee time on one page for all courses. They don't have to go from course, there's no tee time here, so let me go to this course to see that. It's all the available tee times are on one page that you can scroll down either on the app or the web, doesn't matter. And it's just, and they love that experience. That's been, like City of St. George, that's one of the number one things that we get feedback on, is that they love to see all the different courses down in St. George all on one page. So they're not jumping from here to there. And same with the operators. If someone calls in and they don't have a time, they can just look at, just hop right over to the tee sheet and see what's available at the other courses. And they can book that time if they allow it. And one thing the municipalities love is security and permission-based software. So we built it very specifically with very good security and very good, parameters to help keep it secure and permission-based. So if they have somebody working in the golf shop, they can only have access to just this piece of the software. And so we built that out very, very well, and we continue to improve that. And they love that because they don't want people having access to be able to do this or this, and that, and just it eliminates opportunities for fraud and other things.
Yeah.
You might get in trouble for answering this question honestly, but what's the best golf course in Utah?
That is a great question. I will say, man, it's a loaded question because there's so many good courses, and it's I think I'm a little partial to Riverside because it's my home course, but I honestly think one of the best courses in Utah is, I want to say, it's funny because I have 9 holes. There's great 9 holes. In the private courses, I would say the front 9 of Glen Wild and the front 9 of Victory Ranch, and maybe the back, those two I think are a great combination of 9 holes.
Yeah.
Black Desert did a fantastic job. I think that's the best course in southern Utah. It's a fun course, but I like big, wide open courses, long courses like Thanksgiving Point.
Yeah.
That when Thanksgiving Point is in great shape, I think that's one of my favorite courses.
Interesting. And are they gonna stick around? Thanksgiving Point. I thought they were talking about developing that.
Or like putting a freeway through it, but I don't think so.
I don't think they had a big meeting, and from what we've heard, it's stalled.
Good.
The community doesn't want it going through there.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But you never know. It's a valuable piece of land, but that's the one thing that people don't like. People talk about golf courses and how much it is to water the course and things like that. But that's why municipalities love them too, because it's a opportunity as golf gets more popular. It's a great place to get out and go do things. Now there's a lot of
Basically
talk.
a park.
Yeah, it's a park, and you pay for that. So the city gets revenue to help pay for the water, to do all that stuff. And it's not, there's a lot of different things that people will come up and hate on, but there's a lot of talk at how to make golf not as long. And so that's, I think, a hot topic coming up and what they do. So a lot of people are doing 9 holes. I've heard of a few courses throughout the nation that they have 9 holes front and back, and maybe 1 or 2 days a week they'll do 18.
Yeah.
And then you just go out and play 9 holes only.
Because golf is a long. If you play 18, what is that? 4 hours?
Yeah.
4.5.
4.5.
On typical. And if you're in a tournament or something and things like, I mean, they can be some courses. I think the average is 5 hours at some of them that are really busy.
Yeah.
And I think Utah County has. I don't think there's enough courses in Utah County to there. You look at Salt Lake, how many courses they have in that county and Davis County compared to what Utah County has. They could use 2 more courses down here and they would be packed.
We
Yeah.
might be getting one in Salem.
Yeah.
I heard the golf course is definitely coming to Salem. Whether the whole development is or not, I don't know. But
That'd
the
be
golf
cool.
course
Yeah.
itself.
That would be awesome. It's a cool spot.
And you like these big and open courses because you're a pretty damn good golfer and you can smoke the ball. He can drive it like you wouldn't believe.
boy.
Have you played Hill Air Force Base?
I have.
That's a pretty good one, I hear.
It is really fun. It's a lot in my mind. It's kind of like Valley View. It has a very similar vibe and but it depends on who the commanding officer is at Hill Air Force Base. If he's a golfer, the course is fantastic, and if he's not a golfer, it's good. It's always good, but it's not as good sometimes.
Interesting.
That's the word out there, and we've had a golf fan there for a while.
Yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
pretty immaculate. Favorite municipal course, though, because we were talking like private ones, and the municipalities don't have the budget and all of that. But again, some of them in Utah are pretty darn good. I'm thinking like Bonneville.
Bonneville's great. There's some hidden gems around here. Like I like the Wasatch and Soldier Hollow. Soldier Hollow is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
It's just I think there's a great, if you can combine some holes on the gold and silver course, you can make like one of the best courses out here in Utah. But Wasatch has great ones. Bonneville's fantastic. Mountain Dell's a lot of fun.
Have you ever played Gladstone?
Yes. The back nine of
Gladstone. The back nine
Gladstone.
of Gladstone's crazy. You can't even walk it. It's like you're off-roading.
Yeah. I've played it twice, and
Yeah.
it's always shocked me just how I didn't know it went back so far and like went down in this valley type area. Just because you hit some shots, you're like, you have no idea where your ball is going, and you just hope that it's right. You trust the guy that's telling you where to hit, and you're like, all right.
I hate those holes, though.
I know.
I don't like those ones.
Well, so Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek in Mesquite is probably one of the coolest courses you ever go play. Like visually is just stunning, but I hate that course. I'd go play it like every 5 years, but it's because you never know where you're hitting.
Yeah.
Like to your point, but it's a great, beautiful course. It's really fun to play. But the day in and day out, it's not my style.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing? So you've been doing it since 2020. Have you taken any money? Have you?
Yeah. It's friends and family.
Okay.
That's all we've done is just raised it and with ourselves. So it's been great. We've got some great investors that are really good to work with, and we've got a good. It's been fun.
Yeah. With all things platforms, you can look around and see other sports. I'm thinking like pickleball.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go into new areas, or is that the squirrel chasing the shiny object?
No, so we already have a pickleball app and platform built, ready to go.
Really?
Yeah, we have. So part of our vision is, we're going to focus on golf and we're going to stay right there. But golf is one of the more complex sports there is, because it's one of the only sports that you have to go pay to play. You can't just go to a park. You can't just go somewhere and go play. Go to your backyard and you can chip around. But to actually play the game, you can't go find a church or a YMCA to go play basketball. Like it's very difficult to go through. So golf has a lot of complexities, and they have their reservations you have to have. They have tournaments. Like it's all part of it where it's other sports. It's like you can just have a recreational good time.
Yeah.
No, nothing's really tied to it. If you want to, you can. But golf is like if you golf, you're most likely doing all aspects of it. And so with pickleball, we built out the platform, and part of that vision is if we find we're looking for people that if you want to go into other sports, that's kind of where we have a really good partner in the pickleball side, Russ, that if he came in and helped drive that for us without taking the focus off of golf. And he utilized what we had as the base for the golf, and we just made some tweaks and translated it into pickleball. So it's pretty cool. The app is really cool. We our pickleball division is called Next Up Pickleball. I believe you can go download the app right now, and it's free, and you can put your players in. It has a rating system for you. It keeps your scores and keeps everything. And you can actually create an invitation for all your friends, and you can. That's one thing we do too. Is part of it, part of the reason we got into this is golf was very slow. In most sports, they still are. They're slower to adapt to technology than most other industries.
Yeah.
And so we're just using current technology and applying it to our software, and it feels like we're inventing the wheel half the time. And it's like because golfers are like, they went from pencil to paper in the last 10 years to technology, and it's like, whoa, and it's hard for them to do it. But we're looking at automation, AI. We're looking at all these different fun things that when you pull into a parking lot, they know you're there because put the geofencing on. Like there's just all these fun things that we're doing that it's nothing new. It's just that we're offering it.
Yeah.
Have you thought about like city leagues? I'm thinking like softball leagues, basketball. Like those are the worst run things. And if it had a system, I would see that as a huge opportunity, but I also think, selling into municipalities is probably hard.
It is. Because they have longer term contracts. That's probably one of the biggest things. But every municipality we've gotten into, the number one thing they're like is because now they're like, oh, this is great. Can you do this for our rec centers? And that's part of the vision. Is that's why municipalities they've been a little bit of a focus for us recently, because the opportunity I think is greater there. Because they do have leagues, and our software will be able to handle all that, because with our new tournament software and event software that's coming out, it will handle leagues, and you can kind of do it for whatever. And we'll at one point, probably not this year, but maybe next year, looking at it, unless we find something there. But we'll look at just converting that over into a certain league, because our registration process is built that people you can schedule it, register it, and it's ready to go. It doesn't have to be just for golf. It's just like, here's the day you play, here's your schedule. But and we have our own point of sale. Like we own our point of sale system, which a lot of
that's cool.
other ones don't. And so we manage every aspect of the point of sale. Like, we have a partner on the back end that does all of our security and processes it and helps us with compliance. But we control the pricing. We control the support. We do all that. And that's what makes us different is, we can do that. We're launching this summer. It's called Self-Pay. We have it ready to go, and it's for golfers at public courses, and they can use it at private courses too. But you'll be able to make a tee time and invite as many friends as you want. And the first 3 or how many spaces you have available to accept and pay, it sends them a payment link. They just go on, they get it. They get put onto the tee sheet automatically. And you can do that as a private club. You can do that with your guests. Like if I want to invite some guys, I can invite them. And if I want them to pay, they pay. And it sends them a link. So there's no, like, when you get to the course, sometimes it's like, oh, you owe me this. And I think it helps a lot because golf has gotten more expensive in certain areas. And it's hard to make a tee time and prepay because that's where it's going. Prepay is kind of where it's leading to. And sometimes you're stuck with on the low end, a $200 nut or $1,500 nut. It's just like you're stuck with it, and then you have to go collect it.
Kind of an inaccessible game in a lot of ways for that reason. Like, one, the time commitment. Who has 4.5, 5 hours other than Garrett?
It's a huge industry. There's
during a work
millions
day.
of people.
And then 2, it's expensive.
Yeah, but with those like clubs we were talking about. But again, like municipalities, it's probably $13 for 9 holes still.
No, that's when
it's
we
like
were
30.
Kids,
Yeah,
dude.
it's like 30, 35 maybe for
With the
9.
cart.
Yeah, I think most of them are averaging around $60 for 18.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And with a cart, with a cart it'd be like 30. I think they're around $20 walking and then $15, $10 for a cart.
Yeah. But it is going gangbusters.
Yeah.
The simulators are helping a little. Like,
Oh yeah. What about those? Would that work? Would your software work for the simulator
Yep.
things?
We have a schedule sheet as part aside from the tee sheet that you can create how many, like say you have 3 bays or 4 bays, people can register and book on as well, and then you can use it for lessons. The pros can use it. Hey, I'm just going to schedule my lessons. Like they can block off the times they want available, the times that aren't available, so people can see, and the pro shop can.
This is
do
cool.
it. So yeah, it does all
You
of it.
should get Topgolf as a client.
Yeah, Topgolf is a little different. I don't think that's the one that I don't think we are built for,
Yeah.
because they have their own software.
Yeah.
Like they do their own reservation system. That
One would
that
hope
thing-
they have their own software
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
It'd be very funny if they didn't.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, back to the news for a second. The Coyotes played their last game ever in Arizona for now.
bon
After
voyage.
20, did you know they were there for 27 seasons?
Yeah, it was a long time.
After 27 seasons in Arizona, the Coyotes are on the move to Salt Lake City, and they chanted "Salt Lake sucks."
Yeah.
Well,
At
I
the
would
game.
too if I was a Denver fan.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the fans, right?
Yeah. No, I loved it, and I actually tweeted like that means it should be in Utah County. But yeah, so it looks like we're getting this thing, and Ryan talked about it yesterday, I think for the first time publicly. Have you ever played with Ryan? Ryan's a big golfer. You see him at Riverside?
I have. Yep.
Yeah.
We've played a couple times.
Yeah. Is he good?
Yeah, he's really good. He's been playing quite a while, and he's sneaky. Like he'll turn it on, and you're just, I don't know, a little unassuming sometimes.
Yeah. Is he being the club champion at Riverside at one point?
He has, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
easy to do.
No,
That's
it's not.
hard.
There's some good players at Riverside. And I think my first year at Riverside, my first year playing in the club championship, I came in second. He built like he came in first, and he had this huge lead. And I think I birdied like 3 of the last 4 holes, and it got a little closer. But he played really well. He shot in the 60s a couple times, and it was
That's crazy.
good. But it's one of those things that's like a Rory McIlroy where, he's out of contention, and then he has the best Sunday round of his life because there's no pressure, there's nothing. So he's just like going for gangbusters, just hitting everything, and just
Yeah.
that was me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
had
that's cool.
no pressure. I was
No
like,
pressure.
That's awesome. Well, good for Ryan.
yeah.
I bet a lot of people don't know that he's a good golfer and has been the club champion at Riverside.
Yeah. Of all of his accomplishments, that one's like
That
one of
might be the
greatest.
coolest one.
Because most, busy people aren't good at golf.
I've never been impressed with Qualtrics. I don't know about you. And then I've never been impressed with owning the Jazz. Who cares? Owning an NHL team. Who cares?
Yeah.
Club champion
Club champion.
at Riverside.
gets a crystal trophy for that. They can put up. Yeah,
Oh my
impressive.
gosh!
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I'd trade the Jazz, Qualtrics, and the Coyotes for a club championship.
The whole time, everyone's just asking him for money, and you just got to fend him off and just, I want to hit this 6-iron. If the PGA Tour or Live Golf said, hey, we'd like to sponsor or, invest in MemberSports, which one would you choose?
Man, that's actually a really good question, because I'm one of those guys that is not for one or the other.
Really?
I love both of them,
Oh.
actually. I actually am a huge fan of Live and what it represents and what they're trying to do, but I love the tradition of the PGA Tour. And I think it's kind of, it's weird because I think Phil would choose PGA Tour, and I would actually probably lean towards Live a little bit, just because I think their vision's a little more forward thinking, and I like what they're trying to do. I love the team aspect of it, like in car racing where you have like 4 guys in the race that can all help the team throughout the season, and I think that's a cool aspect that they should put together. But one thing's for certain, they need to get the top players playing again every week in and week out, because golf is, I'll tell you, professional golf and the ratings are not doing great.
Yeah, I think people are sick of the infighting and a bunch of rich folks just bickering for 4 years.
You know
now.
what's odd about Live Golf is the team names they've come up with.
They're
the
awful.
worst. They're
Yeah.
the worst team names. When you have this opportunity, it's like, why isn't there a TaylorMade team, a Callaway team,
Well, I think
a
that's
Titleist team?
I think that's the idea. I think that's where they're going for. So I don't think these team names at some point it's going to be the AT&T team, or it's just kind of like in racing. It's like the Ferrari team, the Mercedes team, or something like that. I think that's
Hendrick
where the
Motorsports.
Titleist team.
Yeah.
But they obviously aren't doing it yet because I think they're still,
I thought these
intertwined.
two are getting together. Are they not?
They
just
are it's just,
languishing.
It's just
yeah,
gonna take forever.
yeah.
Interesting.
But like Tiger's in those negotiations, right? Because he's on the board of the PGA Tour, and you can just see it in their faces and their answers, right? They're just like, ugh, no more.
Well,
So
and
sick
most
of it.
guys have changed their tune. There's some guys that are rock solid, but you look at Rory, he was outspoken against
yeah.
it. Now he's like kind of for it, but Justin Thomas, he's just against it no matter what. And Tiger's kind of been against it the whole time too. And
That's who they need to win over. Seems like if you just get Tiger, it's over.
it would be.
He kind of is golf.
He was in the negotiations at the last meeting for the first time, which
Yeah.
was encouraging.
Yeah.
But
It's like having Jordan on as an NBA owner. It's like, what do you think?
yeah.
Sure.
I think that's the one piece of golf that, there's more people playing, but I don't know if there's more people getting attracted to the golf because of what's happening yet, as far as watching it and doing that, because they just need to do something. There's a lot of potential there, and they just need to
Yeah, I
capitalize
do like
on
the
it.
team aspect. I think the team thing is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
It would be interesting, like if Arnold Palmer's still alive, or if Tom Watson or Jack or Gary Player. I haven't seen them weigh in, but if they did weigh in, that would carry a lot of clout.
Jack's still alive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said he was dead.
No, Arnold Palmer.
Oh,
But
Arnold.
the other three, kind of the Mount Rushmore of the.
From
60s
what
and
I've heard,
70s.
most of them are like kind of against it, just because the PGA Tour is where they made their living, and that's who they're dedicated to. They don't need.
Yeah.
I mean, they're done, but yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but it needs to end in some way.
Yeah.
'Cause people are sick of it.
By the way, Sundance might be leaving. The iconic Utah Film Festival considers allowing other cities to host. They're opening it up to more cities around the world. Their contract ends in 2026, so this could be just a negotiation, which they did last time their contract came up. But it says Sundance might be leaving, and they're looking at other cities. We'll see what happens. If they do leave, Summit has to pick up the slack. We got to start a film festival inside of that thing.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
That sounds shitty.
Low bar, very low bar.
Yeah.
So we win a hockey team but lose a film festival. I'll take that
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
day of the week.
By the way, I don't think Park City residents love Sundance.
I don't think so. I've never heard them say anything other than they hate those 2 weeks.
Yeah. It is good for our state, though, and it would be preferable that they stay. And by the way, we have a partnership with them with Summit.
Yeah.
We've premiered Sundance film at Summit.
Yeah, some big ones.
So Sundance is great,
But
but they might leave.
we'll spin up a couple of films for our own
We'll do
film
it.
festival.
We'll
We'll
do
do
a
it.
golf film
Furries on the course.
and with furry. Yeah, furries, of course.
Yeah, there should be a furry golf championship. That'd be
I-
cool.
I'd be shocked if there wasn't one
Hey,
somewhere.
here's what we're gonna do for the Slopes Cup this year. We're gonna have a team, and we're gonna all have furry costumes.
And just hope it's not hot that day. We're out there with IVs. "Ah, you got to keep it on. Don't take it off.
Hey, Google fired 28 employees for protesting the company's cloud deal with Israel. I guess they were like blocking work, or what were they doing?
Yeah, there's
Do you
like
know?
sit-ins and protests, and even lovey-dovey Google said, that ain't gonna fly, and they canned them.
Oh, it says no tech for apartheid.
Yeah.
Jeez. The group that organized the protest said in a statement that it attributed to Google workers involved in the campaign. This flagrant act of retaliation is a clear indication that Google values its $1.2 billion contract with the genocidal Israeli government and military more than its own workers. Guaranteed they do. That's
No,
What?
No shock there.
more than 28 workers? Yeah. The ones who create real value for executives and shareholders, what he said. Or what they said. That's wild. Yeah, I don't know that we want to weigh in further because that was a lot of intense language.
Yeah, I hope it was worth it.
But they fired
Probably
28 people.
Yeah.
So, and there was also a sports gambling scandal. Some NBA player that honestly I've never even heard of, Jonte Porter, has been banned from the league for life.
Yeah, it was a little shoeless Joe Jackson, well, allegedly. There was a line of like small stats for him, and he just like, hey, I'm a little sick, and left the game, and guaranteeing that he wouldn't get those numbers, right? Guaranteeing a win
Oh.
of that, prop bet.
Little Pete
I
Rose.
imagine there will be tons of these then.
It's real easy.
If he's doing it,
Yeah.
it's most likely somebody else is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be tons of these. The final news story of the day is an elephant is on the loose in Butte.
Montana?
It escaped from a traveling circus. The stories today
Not a
are
woolly mammoth?
wild.
He needs to get some fur on him.
The headline is Elephant Runs Loose in Butte After Escaping from Traveling Circus.
That's
That is
close to
good
my old
day.
stomping grounds. I grew up in Missoula, about 2 hours away.
Oh, really?
nice.
Yeah,
Missoula's beautiful.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, there's an elephant on the loose. Good luck.
Come on. Don't
Good luck,
rednecks
Butte.
up there. Do not
You
shoot
know,
that elephant.
If he's in Butte and he starts drinking the water, he might grow another trunk or another head. I don't know if you guys know the history of Butte, what it is, but it was the butt, pun intended, of all jokes in Montana growing up. My grandfather always said there's the two most beautiful sights in Montana is a sunset on Flathead Lake and Butte in your rear view mirror.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Good
awesome.
luck for the elephant.
All right.
Very
So, what's next for you, and how do people get in contact with you? All that type of stuff.
Just our website. Just go check it out there. And the biggest thing is that we're growing. This is our year of growth, and we have a lot of momentum. We're everywhere in the country right now. I mean, we're in multiple states. We have a lot of great momentum. A lot of areas, and California's been kind of a hot spot. We don't have any. We have one course in California, and now Southern California is kind of coming alive. Florida, Georgia, Texas, Memphis. We just got into Ohio for with the course, and there's other opportunities. So.
Scottsdale has a lot of golf, doesn't it?
It does. The one thing it was shocking to us how hard it was to get into the Scottsdale and Phoenix market because of the golf management groups, because we were newer when we first started talking to them, and so it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to take a shot on you and just see if it works. Now that we're proven and tested, I think that opportunity this year is going to be a lot greater, especially during the summer, during their off season. We'll be able to
Just don't
work
mention
with
you're from Utah. Ryan hasn't helped you in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
They might be against everything Utah
Right.
for a little bit.
I'll just ask if they're a hockey fan first, and if they are, I'll just be like, oh, cool, I'm from Montana. So,
Well, best of luck, man. Are we using you for Slopes Cup?
you guys will be.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, we've got, and we do anticipate having a lot of our stuff. I hope that you guys will, but we have it ready, but we're doing, like I said, we're doing a huge upgrade on our tournament software. It's going to be pretty cool and allow courses to actually offer the software to people that are having the organizations that are at their courses, that they can kind of upsell. We're giving them like a business opportunity to be like, hey, we have the software for this much more money. You can use our software to organize registration and do the whole thing.
I love
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
We should promo Slopes Cup because it's coming up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Have you ever won Slopes Cup? No.
Well, you can't win your own tournament.
I did the first year.
You did.
I didn't feel great about it. I mean, I did, but
I was watching the scores come in, and then I saw you come in. I'm like, oh, no. And sure enough.
we had a good day that year. But since then, I dialed it back.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
That's awesome. Oh, thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You're
Appreciate
great.
it.
I mean, that furry education was wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, furries are wild, man. So we have no show tomorrow, so we'll see everybody Monday.